What's up, fight fans? This is 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Bah, bah. You know what it is, and this is the Two Hands Up show. Okay, so Wilder says, Deontay Wilder says Anthony Joshua refused to FaceTime, and he says it's good to see them begging. A few days ago, Anthony Joshua explained that he wants to sit down with his heavyweight rival, the WBC champion Deontay Wilder, to work out all of the outstanding issues and finalize a deal for the unification. Wilder does not believe him. According to Wilder, he has made an attempt to have a private conversation with Joshua on FaceTime, and he claims that the British star has refused to have a conversation without a third party involved on his side. Eddie Hearn was not serious about making a deal. What they have done so far to be believable, Wilder said to the Los Angeles Times. What have they done so far to be believable? Wilder said to the Los Angeles Times. I've tried to do it privately with some mutual friends. Joshua did not want to do it without someone there with him on FaceTime in the conversation. Why would you want to do that? It's me and you. Are you scared of me or something? This whole thing of we've got to sit down, they're just saying something, man, because at the end of the day, I do not have a boss. Joshua has a boss. Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. You know when it's real, and you know when someone's just talking. We've spoke before for about 4 months. I've been in there with them. You don't think you know a person when they're lying or not? Without Matchroom, this fight would be done a long time ago. He can say all he wants. They still have a say-so on him. So why talk to him? He's not on my level. I'm not chasing nobody no more. The shoe's on the other foot. I know the fight's going to happen eventually, but it's good to see them begging. No matter what people think when it comes to the night of the fight and I knock out Joshua, the ones who doubted are going to look like a fool. I cannot wait for that moment to come. We've got a plan. We're doing our thing. When they're ready, let's make it happen. I've been trying to make this fight. When they're ready, I'll be ready. Joshua's back on Saturday night when he defends his IBF, IBO, WBO, WBA belts against Andrew Ruiz in Madison Square Garden.
The Joshua fight happening.
When?
You know, all these fights, the great thing about this is all these fights are in discussion. You know, it's like no doors are closed. All teams, all parties that's involved are talking. And that's the great thing about it. And we know that when the big fights happen, everything goes silent. There's too many people involved, too many opinions involved right now. And it's going to take my team and his team, maybe me and him as well, too, to sit down and just handle this and squash everything and get this fight done for the fans. But I want people to know.
Go ahead.
This fight will happen. The big fight will happen. I promise you that. We'll come patient, come time, and I just want you guys to have patience and give us a little time to make this thing happen. The way we all benefit from it, not only just you fans, because we risk our lives in here. So we want to make sure we get the best and the most money that's possible. For we risking our lives. I mean, the head is not meant to be hit in the first place. So
Bruh, this is what I will not do. Okay, this is what I will not fucking do. I'm not going to sit up here and just listen to you talk some condescending bullshit, man. Okay, let's get right into this. Now, y'all just heard the crazy, wild rant Deontay Wilder just went on in that article, and I just read to you guys. Now, this is where I find the problem. Once again, you're fighting Luis Ortiz. You've made that decision. You had the opportunity to fight Joshua. You chose not to. So you're still going to piggyback off of this man's profile. I'm learning to deal with this shit and not like get personally invested with my feelings or anything like that and just look at it for face value, man. Like the Migos said, you will do anything for clout. And clearly, Deontay Wilder would do anything for clout. He would sell his soul for 10,000 new fans. Like straight like that. Now, you know, I've made several points pertaining to this situation. Now Deontay Wilder was saying that he tried to have a FaceTime with Anthony Joshua and he wanted Eddie Hearn to be there. No, that is not what he did. You said that you wanted to meet him in the physical. Anthony Joshua is a very personable individual, so I know he wanted to meet you in the physical. So you have the audacity to get on a news outlet and try to say that Anthony Joshua is ducking. Now, I can't Anthony Joshua was ducking. He didn't want to sit down with you, and he refused to do it without management. Now, I'm sure Anthony Joshua has navigated his way through life for some time now without needing somebody to hold his damn hand. And the difference between, and you got to look at it like this. Look at it from both sides of the situation. Look how Anthony Joshua's team moves on behalf of him. And look how Deontay Wilder's team moves on behalf of him. Do you ever hear Eddie Hearn jumping in and cutting Anthony Joshua off and Anthony Joshua can't speak for himself? I'll wait. Do you ever hear Anthony Joshua having to beg his promotion to get certain fights that he wants or make things happen? Do they navigate his destiny for him? They absolutely does not. He simply just asks the fans, figures out the consensus of the people and who they would like him to fight, and he moves based on the fans, what the fans want, because he's just cut from a different cloth of this heavyweight era. Now, for Deontay Wilder, when he's asked a question like a simple asked about a simple $120 million and how close he was willing to sign it, he simply paused, like this.
Scale from 1 to 10, how close were you to join the zone if there was any consideration, Mr. Wilder?
Man, you know.
Well, let me answer it.
Answer that one.
We went together. We wanted to hear what they had to say. They made a very substantial offer. But at this point in his career, what he has accepted to go forward was better and better for him.
Do you believe they were acting in good faith by making the offer that they're genuine?
So y'all just saw that right there. So my question to you, Mr. Wilder, is who's really in control here? Because clearly Shelly Finkel and your management is in control of you. Because when Anthony Joshua say go, they go. Now, in your situation, I've never heard you speak out. You know, I don't like to, you know, I'm trying not to speak on your intelligence or nothing like that because, you know, this is a channel for boxing and unbiased viewership. So I'm kind of trying to get away from, you know, dogging you without being in an unbiased sense. But at the same time, you know, you're just getting out of control with your bullshit. It's one thing, you know, to pad your record with tomato cans, cab drivers, bums and winos, and crackheads. It's another thing for you to take the fight with Luis Ortiz too. Stay humble about it, you know, move off of your knockout and boost your profile that way. But it's another thing for you to blatantly get in the public and lie about what's going on with you and Anthony Joshua and to say you were trying to have a FaceTime like a little girl when truly this is about business. So y'all need to sit and come to the table and do these negotiations and make these agreements. But you're talking about you want to have FaceTime. Clearly, you know, the phone situation, emails, and all of those things are getting misconstrued and they're not working out with you too. But you got the audacity to just get up here and just try to bash that man's credibility, say he's begging. My brother, he has sponsorships that has earned him on signing more than you've made in your entire career. You know, he has a watch situation that's worth more than your entire career. So once again, it is very disingenuous for, you know, you to mention him in the form of fashion that in which you speak. Because, you know, man, Anthony Joshua doesn't need Deontay Wilder to pay anything. Anthony Joshua is self-made. And even if, you know, the Deontay Wilder fight fell through and he came over to Ruiz and came in your backyard and you tried to hoodwink him on the call out after June 1st, granted, if he comes out victorious, he still came over here. He boosted his profile. He did 19K at MSG. He gave all of the fans something that we asked for, and he's done things that you weren't willing to do. I've never heard of you traveling abroad and getting into fist fights. All of them come out of Alabama. I truly don't believe, you know, I think there's a lack of self-belief there. And I think that, you know, you are trying to fire from the hip. And you're trying to boost your very lackluster profile off of the back of Anthony Joshua. And it's all truth in the matter, and everyone knows that, but opinions are formulated, you know, so no one necessarily is going to agree with, you know, the truth. The truth can be easily combated with the lie because we live in an era to where I can show everybody fucking facts through the roof, and somebody will still try to find a hole and try to say that there's a lie and find a hole in my statement when I'm just giving you the facts. These are news articles. This is word for word quoted out of the box's mouth, and people will still try to refute facts. So you can't deal with some individuals because mentally and metaphorically speaking, dealing with them is like trying to nail jello to a fucking wall. So that is just the truth of the matter. Deontay Wilder, it's kind of funny that you said his team didn't want to speak, and you're saying that, you know, you can't believe anything that comes out of Eddie Hearn's mouth, and Anthony Joshua doesn't have any control out of your career. But then you just said recently in the ring that, you know, you guys were all talking and the big fights were going to be happening. Now you're trying to say that this gentleman is begging. So which is it, you know? Because, like, truthfully, I don't believe you. And all I can say is this. Anthony Joshua, just keep moving forward with your career because the lines in you guys' career do not run parallel. You know, you are light years above this individual, and it just truly shows. And I guarantee the moment you stop mentioning them, the moment are people really going to see what the truth of the matter is, because we're not going to go off nostalgic preferences. We're going to look at what's current. We're going to look at the now. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the young dudes like to say, you know what I'm saying? They don't like to focus on the old shit. You know what I mean? They on the new. They on that new. So what's new and what is current is the fact that you've made millions of call outs. You've called out this individual several times and he's turned them down. He said he's lost his spin, etc. You know, and he's moved the goalpost several times. So just live in that and just know that by the end of 2019, Mr. Deontay Wilder is going to self-destruct. And, you know, I hate to say it, but this could be a Jared Hurd situation. This could be a Charlo situation. So if he doesn't want to take that fight with Anthony Joshua, cool. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying, like, good things, you know, they say good things come to those who wait, but Deontay Wilder has waited for 10 years and $120 million came to him, and the motherfucker didn't take it. $120 million in 3 fights to turn around and take $10 million for the same fight and only take 50% of what he could have gotten. So if you guys choose to believe Deontay Wilder, that's on you, but you can formulate your own opinion. So as we always say before we close this joint out, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. This is your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Bow, bow. You know what it is. Hey man, and like I said, man, hey, the truth will vindicate any individual and set you free. So, you know, you could either live in the truth or you know what I'm saying, can embellish in the lies. And my whole thing is this. All you have to do is just sit back, give it time. My mother always told me what's done in the dark always comes to the light. So, you know, all you have to do is just sit and let Deontay Wilder talk. And he's just going, you know, walk himself into, you know, a social media grave. So I just like to tell people, man, just watch. Just watch all the things that's going to take place in 2019. Deontay Wilder is really on his way to self-destruction because you can't do these type of things and not think anything's going to happen. The real always prevails. Facts.